Ravens fan, you won't believe what happened. Lamar Jackson, one of the greatest players in the NFL and the current leader of the team, was simply overlooked in a way no one expected. He had an amazing season, breaking records and showing the world his talent. But when it came time for the most important award of the year, he was left out. How did this happen? What absurd thing happened that left Lamar without the MVP? Stay with me because I'm going to tell you everything that went down behind the scenes of this race. Get ready to be shocked by the reasons behind this injustice. And by the end, you'll understand how Lamar can still turn this around. So don't go anywhere because what's coming will leave you speechless. Go Ravens! Lamar Jackson played like never before, delivering one of the most dominant seasons in NFL history. He threw for 4,172 yards and 41 touchdowns, with just 4 interceptions and a passer rating of 119.6, the fourth highest ever recorded in a single season. On the ground, he remained an unstoppable threat, rushing for 915 yards and 4 more touchdowns, with an impressive average of 6.6 yards per attempt. No defense could contain Jackson for long, and it was evident in every game. The balance between his passing and rushing game made him the most difficult player to stop in the league. If the numbers weren't already impressive, the records he broke made everything even more special. Jackson became the quarterback with the most rushing yards in NFL history, surpassing legends of the position. Additionally, he was the first player to throw for over 4,000 yards and rush for over 900 in a single season, something no other quarterback had done before. This only reinforces how unique his talent is, mixing insane passing accuracy with the ability to dismantle any defense with his leg. He redefined what is expected from a modern quarterback and took his game to a level that few have reached. Given all this, it seemed inevitable that Jackson would win his third MVP award. Along with his records and brilliant individual performances, he also led the Baltimore Ravens to one of the best campaigns in the league, dominating the AFC and securing the division title. The recognition came in various forms, including his election to the first-team All-Pro, where he was named the best quarterback of the season. But when the MVP votes were revealed, the surprise came. Jackson finished second, losing to Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills by a narrow margin of point. The result shocked many, because statistically, Jackson had a superior year. The strangest thing about this vote was that the same journalist who gave Jackson the first-team All-Pro award decided that Allen was the MVP of the season. If Jackson was recognized as the best quarterback of the year, how could he not have been elected the most valuable player? This inconsistency sparked outrage among fans and raised questions about the voting criteria. And this wasn't the only controversy surrounding this decision. The MVP race was one of the closest in recent years, and Lamar Jackson came very close to taking the trophy home. He received 23 first-place votes and accumulated 362 total points, but Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills came out on top with 27 votes and 383 points. The difference was minimal, and many analysts believed Jackson deserved to win. After all, he had a historic season, broke record, and was a key part of the Ravens' success. The very fact that he was named first-team All-Pro over Allen already showed that, for most experts, Jackson was the best quarterback of the year. The big controversy is that the same journalists who vote for the MVP also choose the All-Pro players. In other words, they acknowledge that Jackson was the best quarterback of the season, but in the MVP voting, they gave the award to Allen. This sparked a huge debate because if Jackson was considered the best at his position, how could he not have been the most valuable player? This contradiction left a feeling that inconsistent criteria were used in the selection, which only fueled the frustration of those who followed the voting. Another point that worked against Jackson was the narrative surrounding the award. Many believe that the media and some voters gave more weight to Allen's performance in the playoffs, even though the MVP voting only takes into account the regular season. Additionally, some argued that the Ravens roster, especially the presence of Derrick Henry, helped reduce Jackson's individual impact. But this argument doesn't hold up, since Allen also had a strong supporting cast, including one of the league's most explosive offenses. Regardless of the voting, Jackson once again proved that he's among the best in the NFL and that he can continue competing for awards in the coming years. He's already been MVP twice, came very close to his third, and with the quality he showed this past season, he remains one of the top contenders for the award. And the numbers already show that he's the favorite to take the trophy in 2025. Even though he didn't win the MVP this season, Lamar Jackson is already starting next year as the clear favorite for the award. Betting houses have him at the top of the list, with odds of plus 450 at FanDuel Sportsbook, slightly ahead of Josh Allen, who is listed at plus 500. At DraftKings, both are tied at plus 550, showing the balance in the race. This favoritism comes as no surprise, since Jackson just had an incredible season and remains one of the most dominant players in the NFL. He's at the peak of his career, and if he can maintain his level of performance, he'll have everything to finally win his third trophy. The fact that Jackson is the favorite right at the start of the season speaks volumes about how he's viewed in the league. Unlike other quarterbacks who need to prove themselves year after year, Jackson already enters as one of the most feared names in the NFL. His impact goes beyond the stats because he completely changes the way opposing defenses play. No other quarterback combines such precision in passing with a threat in the running game, and that makes him a unique player. That's why betting odds already show that he has a great chance to win the award that slipped through his fingers this year. However, for this to happen, he needs to continue playing at a high level and, most importantly, stay healthy. This has always been a challenge for quarterbacks who run the ball a lot, but Jackson has shown progress in this area. He managed to get through the season without major injuries and kept his explosiveness both in the passing and running game. If he continues this way, he'll once again be one of the top names in the league and will have everything to solidify his legacy even more. But Jackson knows that more than the MVP, his main goal is something else. The individual season was brilliant. The numbers were historic, but what really matters to him and the Ravens is a championship, and the hunt for the Super Bowl has already begun. Well, we're past the halfway point of our video, but before we continue, I notice you haven't left a like on this video yet. It's really important for YouTube to keep recommending my content to you, so I'll keep bringing it to you. So, go ahead and drop a like on this video. It's free. Thanks. Let's continue. Jackson may be among the MVP favorites, but he knows that this is not the most important thing. His main goal is to lead the Baltimore Ravens to the Super Bowl title, something that is still missing from his career. The 2024 season was brilliant in individual terms, but ended in great disappointment for the team. After dominating the regular season and securing one of the best records in the league, the Ravens were knocked out in the playoffs. This served as a lesson for Jackson and the entire roster. Individual numbers are great, but nothing compares to the feeling of lifting the trophy. This focus on the title was clear in Jackson's statements after the season. He didn't hide his frustration about missing out on the MVP, but made it clear that his priority is winning. To do so, he knows he needs to keep evolving, and the team as a whole needs to take a step forward. The Baltimore Ravens have assembled an extremely competitive roster with a solid defense and a talented offense, but they still need that little something extra to turn this into a championship. The road to the Super Bowl is never easy, especially in the AFC, which features some of the best teams in the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs remain the team to beat, and rivals like the Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals, and Miami Dolphins are also in the hunt. But Jackson has something that few quarterbacks possess: the ability to change the game on his own. If he maintains the level he showed this past season and gets the support of the team, the Ravens will have every chance to reach the top. Next season promises to be the most challenging of Jackson's career, but it could also be the most special. He already has 2 MVPs, broken records, and proven his worth. Now, he just needs to win the title that truly matters, and the Ravens are already preparing for that. With a strengthened roster and Lamar Jackson at his peak, the Ravens enter next season as one of the favorites for the title. The team was already strong, but the arrival of Derrick Henry has added a new level of danger to the offense. Henry is one of the most dominant running backs in the NFL, and his partnership with Jackson creates one of the most explosive backfields the league has ever seen. Defenses will have to choose between stopping Henry's physical running or dealing with Jackson's speed, and this duo promises to wreak havoc. In addition to the offense, the Ravens' defense remains one of the best in the NFL. The unit was one of the main contributors to the team's success last season, pressuring opposing quarterbacks and forcing turnovers. Players like Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton have elevated the defense's level, and if they maintain their performance, Baltimore will remain a very difficult team to beat. The balance between offense and defense makes the Ravens a complete team, capable of competing against any opponent. The biggest challenge will be turning this talent into playoff results. Baltimore has already shown that it can dominate the regular season, but it needs to find a way to maintain this level in the decisive phase. This involves tactical adjustment, experience, and of course, Jackson continuing to play at a high level. The frustration from last season can serve as fuel to help the team come in even more focused and determined not to repeat the same mistakes. With a talented roster, a strong defense, and a quarterback in his prime, the Ravens have everything to have a historic season. The MVP may come, but what Jackson and the team really want is the Super Bowl trophy. And this could be the season when Baltimore finally reaches the top of the NFL. Lamar Jackson had a historic season, but he was unjustly overlooked in the MVP voting, leaving many fans and experts perplexed. Still, he remains firm, one of the greatest talents in the NFL with great chances of winning the award in the future. And most importantly, his mission is far from over, because the Ravens' goal is the Super Bowl, and that's what truly matters. Now, I want to know what you think. Do you agree with this voting? Do you think Lamar deserved the MVP? Or was it an unfair decision? Leave your opinion in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news about the Ravens and the 2025 season.